Good evening. What drives someone to gamble away £3 million? Tonight, Omar Sharif, who has himself lost hundreds of thousands, talks about the pleasures and the perils of the compulsive gambler. We also look at some deep-sea treasures and at the impending threat to our petrol supplies.
And at 6:20, The Next Generation. We invite you to join with 6 Yorkshire school children in a special nationwide quiz about the North and its people. And the Yorkshireman so many love to hate, Arthur Scargill. Is he finished or fighting back? Plus the recipe we promised you for the greatest dish from the greatest county. That's after your own programmes tonight, nationwide.
Star Omar Sharif in London for a major bridge tournament, who makes no secret that he too has a real taste for big-time gambling.
Omar Sharif, most people find it just incomprehensible how someone could lose £3 million gambling. But do you understand that sort of compulsion?
Yes, I do, very well. I mean, I used to gamble a lot, and I lost quite a lot of money. And I understand how one can arrive to that. I think it's a lot of money, £3 million, but I think it's better than holding it away in a numbered account in Switzerland. I mean, the money circulates. Certainly more people see more of it.
Yes.
And it's people who have a lot of money, if they can afford to do that, well, a lot of people profit by this money. That is.
Well, they profit, but I wonder whether it's fun, because I've only very rarely been to gambling casinos. But what has struck me is crowds of very miserable-looking people,
yes.
Very lonely people. There's no fun in it.
They're usually very lonely people. They're usually quite lazy people, basically. People who don't work very hard, because people who work very hard, I don't think, have either the time for gambling, and also they know the value of money much more. They realize how hard it was earning it. It's usually people who get their money quite easily. Either they inherit it or gain it all of a sudden without much effort.
So it's there to be squandered, really?
Yes. I mean, it was my case. When at one point I was earning so much money in films, I didn't know why or how this money was coming. And I just thought I had to live very intensely and do all the extravagant things that one reads about.
What was your worst moment? I mean, do you just have a very bad run of luck, or your system fails you, or is it that you lose and you think, I must recoup that, so you get deeper and deeper into trouble? Is that
yes, you do. But actually, I think that you enjoy, in a sort of strange way, losing more than winning. I think that most gamblers, real gamblers, are masochists in the sense that they like to lose much more than... I remember Vittorio De Sica, the director. He was a really compulsive gambler. He couldn't wait to stay away from the tables, but he never got up when he was ahead. He never did. And very few gamblers do get up when they're ahead.
What can you tell us? What's the most you lost?
I lost about £300,000 over 1 month, which was more than I could afford.
Yes. Now, is it possible to beat the system? Can you beat the table?
You can for one evening or for 1 hour, you can now and then, but on the long run, they've got that little edge on the actual gambler customer, as it were. They've always got about 3 or 4 or 5% in their favor. And that, on the long run, tells you can't beat that 5%.
What would be your advice to someone who wants to be a punter, who wants to gamble? I mean, is it that you must set a figure in your head, and when I've lost that figure, I must stop?
You must do that, and also decide that when you've won that certain amount that you fix for yourself, you must stop. That is the thing that
That's
people
much more
don't
difficult,
do.
isn't it?
Yes, because a lot of people do manage to say, well, I'm going to risk that much. And when they do reach that limit, they stop. But very few people know that when they reach, on the other hand, the limit, that they should set a limit for how much they want to make, because otherwise it all goes back.
But Omar Sharif, are you still hooked? I mean, I believe you once said that you could you could live next to a casino and it wouldn't bother you at all until you walked in through the doors, and then you might get hooked again.
Yes, absolutely. I don't, I walk very often, very close to casinos. I go very often to towns where there are casinos. I never even think of going inside. But if I do, and I did on a couple of occasions in the last 5 years, then I feel like sitting down at the table. And I can't just play a little bit. I have to play a lot, because a little bit doesn't excite me.
Yes.
It's got to be a dangerous amount, something that I can't afford to lose.
Well, let's bring us to the present, because you're here for the Sunday Times bridge
Yes.
tournament. It seems extraordinary, because I gather you've become a fanatic about bridge and very
Yes.
good at it. But after Las Vegas and gambling and losing £300,000, bridge sounds so very tame. It's the sort of thing that retired people play in Bournemouth.
Well, not anymore. It used to be. But bridge has become very popular over the last few years, and it's played a lot in universities, for instance. A lot of young people are coming to bridge. It used to be an upper class sort of game, but it's not anymore. It's a game that's become very popular, and a lot of very middle class and lower class people do play a lot of bridge. Bridge for me, it's money, of course, isn't important at all. But it's
But do you bet when you play bridge? Do you
No,
play for money?
Not at all.
Oh.
It's just the challenge of winning a competition. It's an intellectual sport, really. It's like chess in a way.
Well, thank you very much. Just one last word, if you would. One general word of advice for gamblers. What would it be?
Well, gamblers are unhappy people. I should think that the real root of gambling is because they're unhappy. If they manage to analyze why they're unhappy and find out the cause, the reason for it, I think they won't want to gamble at all.
Omar Sharif, thank you very much. And good luck with the bridge tournament.
Thank you.